All right, listen up, defenders. We're issuing an immediate Code Ninja security advisory right now. What we're looking at today is a real-time cyber intelligence drop covering one of the most critical vulnerabilities to hit enterprise perimeters in recent history. We're talking about CVE-2022-40684. This is a silent breach. It's an authentication bypass flaw deeply embedded in major Fortinet infrastructure. Our objective in this explainer is straightforward, really. We're practicing coordinated vulnerability disclosure. That means we're giving you the exact tactical intelligence you need to mitigate this threat, force a vendor patch across your systems, and lock down your network before adversaries even get the chance to strike.
Just let this number sink in for a second. 9.8. That is the CVSS 3.1 base score assigned to this vulnerability. On a scale of 1 to 10, a 9.8 establishes undeniable catastrophic stakes. It essentially means you have a near certain risk of complete device compromise. Why? Because the exploit is network-based, requires absolutely low complexity, zero privileges, and, here's the kicker, zero user interaction. If you're running vulnerable, unpatched hardware facing the public internet, you aren't just at risk, you're literally an open door.
So, what does this actually look like under the hood? The technical classification is CVE-280, but in plain English, this is an authentication bypass using an alternate path or channel. The attacker doesn't need to crack your administrator passwords or steal session tokens. Not at all. Instead, this flaw grants an adversary total control over the administrative interface simply by sending specially crafted HTTP or HTTPS requests. They effectively walk right past your front door security checkpoint and sit directly down in the command center of your Fortinet appliance.
Now, the timeline here is wild, and it perfectly highlights the brutal reality of zero-day threats. Take a look at October 11, 2022. That's when the Horizon3.ai attack team actually confirmed active exploitation in the wild and dropped critical indicators of compromise. Notice that date. That was a full week before the official CVE record and the public proof of concept exploit were actually released on October 18th. Threat actors were already moving inside networks before the broader public even had a name for the vulnerability. Sure, the CVE record was ultimately finalized in March 2023, but the war was already raging months prior.
Okay, pause. Before we dive into the technical weeds and the remediation protocol, I need to verify something with you. Is your comms link secure? Because in the cybersecurity landscape, the speed at which you receive verified intelligence is literally the difference between defending your network and suffering a catastrophic breach.
So, let's establish a secure comms link right now. Subscribing to @cybertech79 and enabling notifications is not just a suggestion today, it's an absolute security necessity. It guarantees you get real-time, life-saving network intelligence the second it drops. And right now, I need you to like this explainer. You know how in network protocols we use an ACK, an acknowledgement, to confirm a packet was successfully received? Well, consider hitting that like button your formal ACK protocol. It confirms to us that you're receiving this critical perimeter defense data. Okay, link established. Let's move on.
Section 1. The Protocol. Deep dive into the blast radius.
I'm issuing a direct command to all you network admins watching this explainer. Check your stacks against this specific matrix immediately. We're looking at FortiOS versions 7.0.0 through 7.0.6 and 7.2.0 through 7.2.1. For FortiProxy, it's 7.0.0 through 7.0.6 and 7.2.0. And for FortiSwitchManager, versions 7.0.0 and 7.2.0. If you are operating these specific vulnerable appliances and you haven't patched yet, your systems are sitting ducks. The blast radius here is immense. It covers firewalls, proxies, and switch managers. We're talking about the very core of your network defense.
So, the golden question. How do we actually know if we've been hit? Well, this right here brilliantly illustrates the difference between standard compliance and advanced threat hunting. Fortinet's official guidance originally suggested auditing your logs for a specific user flag, local_process_access. But security researchers dug a lot deeper. To truly hunt for this adversary, you've got to look for the hidden indicators. You need to aggressively audit your logs for user interface equals JS Node.js and user interface equals report runner. If you see those interfaces interacting directly with sensitive configuration endpoints, you absolutely must assume breach.
Let's put on our adversary hats for a second. The primary vector they're abusing is the /API/v2/REST API endpoints. Now, these endpoints are specifically designed to configure the system and modify administrator accounts. What makes this so incredibly dangerous is its flexibility. Adversaries aren't restricted to one single, highly complex exploit path. No,
They can use any standard HTTP method to deliver the payload. Get, post, put, delete, it honestly doesn't matter. If that traffic hits the /API/v2/directory on a vulnerable machine, the attacker can cleanly manipulate the administrative interface.
And here's the absolute kicker. What happens after they bypass authentication? Once they're in, they execute immediate post-exploitation objectives to lock in their dominance. They'll modify the admin SSH keys, giving themselves persistent, stealthy backdoor access. They'll spin up entirely new local users. They can update your networking configurations to maliciously reroute your traffic, quietly exfiltrate your sensitive system configurations, and even initiate packet captures to intercept more network data. They aren't just breaking in, guys. They are taking complete ownership of your routing infrastructure.
Now, you absolutely need to pay attention to this next part. It's a critical operational nuance discovered during laboratory testing. We're calling it the ghost exploit. If you're auditing your logs and you spot a REST API request targeting these endpoints, but the system logged it as a failure, do not breathe a sigh of relief. Actually, scratch that. Panic a little. A failed REST API log does not mean the attacker failed. Researchers prove that attackers can still successfully modify admin SSH keys even if the appliance reports the HTTP request as a failure. You literally cannot trust a failure code. You have to manually verify the integrity of your SSH keys and local users.
Section 2. The patch. Executing the mitigation protocol.
Consider these strict, non-negotiable orders for your security operations center. Step 1. Apply the latest Fortinet vendor patches immediately. Seriously, there is no workaround better than just patching the box. Step 2, if immediate patching is operationally impossible for your enterprise right now, you must execute the temporary mitigations outlined in Fortinet PSIRT Advisory FGIR-22-377. Step 3, jump into the Fortinet command line interface and make sure REST API logging is explicitly enabled. You can't hunt what you can't see, right? And Step 4, aggressively audit those logs for the Node.js, report runner, and /EPIv2/anomalies we just talked about. Leaving these interfaces exposed is basically network suicide.
Section 3. Ethics and Disclosure. The White Hat Mandate.
You might be wondering, why do we even release this intelligence? Why do teams like Horizon3.ai publish a working proof of concept exploit straight to GitHub? Well, as they stated, this software has been created purely for the purposes of academic research and for the development of effective defensive techniques. We practice coordinated vulnerability disclosure because secrecy almost always favors the adversary. By shining a massive spotlight on the exact mechanics of the exploit, we force vendors to issue fixes. And more importantly, we empower you, the defender, with the exact tools and knowledge required to protect your systems. You simply can't build a strong shield if you don't fully understand the sword.
And that concludes our intelligence briefing on CVE 2022-40684. You've got the mitigation protocol in hand now. Execute it before an adversary finds your perimeter. But I want to leave you with this thought. If threat actors were moving inside networks a full week before this 0-day was even given a name, what else is lurking quietly in your logs right now? Ensure your ACK is transmitted by liking this explainer, verify your comms link by subscribing, and until the next threat emerges, stay secure.